Today I'm going to talk about a 2014 thriller sci-fi movie called Ex Machina. The story starts with a young programmer named Caleb who works at the world's biggest search engine company. One day while he's busy working, Caleb gets an email telling him he's won a company contest. The prize? A week-long stay at the private home of Nathan Bateman, the founder and CEO of Blue Book. Excited, Caleb can't believe his luck. A few days later, a helicopter comes to pick him up. Caleb doesn't even have a phone signal. Curious, he asks the pilot where they are. The pilot replies, "I can't go any further. Follow the river ahead and you'll find the building. I'll come back here in exactly 1 week to pick you up. Have fun." With that, the pilot leaves. Following the river, Caleb eventually finds what looks like an old shed. As he approaches, a voice calls out, "Caleb Smith, please come closer and look into the scanner." Instantly, a key card with his photo prints out. As soon as he takes it, the shed's door opens and inside, Caleb discovers a massive, ultra-modern luxury house hidden behind the plain exterior. Soon, he sees Nathan himself, working out. Nathan greets Caleb warmly and tells him not to be nervous, insisting they'll live like friends for the next 7 days. He gives Caleb a tour and explains that his key card will open only certain doors. If a door doesn't open, it means he's not allowed inside. Caleb is then shown to his room, which is nice but oddly sealed off, giving him a slightly uneasy feeling. Sensing this, Nathan tells him, "This isn't just a house, it's a top-secret research facility. I'll explain my work, but first you need to sign an agreement." The contract states that Caleb cannot share anything he sees or learns, cannot use his phone, and cannot contact the outside world. Caleb hesitates, finding the term strict and confusing, but Nathan reassures him. He says, "If you don't want to sign, that's fine, you can still stay here for the week. But I won't show you any of my work. And a year from now, when you realize what you missed, you'll regret it forever." Caleb's curiosity wins, and he signs the papers, eager to know the truth. Nathan then asks Caleb if he knows about the Turing test. Caleb explains, it's when a human interacts with a computer without realizing it's a computer. If the human thinks it's another person, then the AI passes. Nathan nods, then asks, "And if the test is successful, what does that mean?" Caleb replies, "It means the computer has real artificial intelligence." At that moment, Caleb suddenly realizes Nathan's project. Later, while wandering the building, Caleb comes to a room with a huge glass chamber. Inside the chamber, Caleb notices deep scratch marks on the walls, as if someone had clawed at the glass. Suddenly, he sees a figure inside a robot with a human face but a mechanical body. The robot walks toward him and greets him. She says her name is Ava and that this is the first time she's ever spoken to anyone besides Nathan. Caleb introduces himself, surprised at how human she seems. Her tone is gentle and innocent, her movements almost natural. For Caleb, talking to Ava feels magical. When he later tells Nathan about the experience, he can't stop praising her, saying it felt like he was in a dream. But Nathan cuts him off and asks, "Did you notice any flaws?" Caleb admits Ava is amazing, but also points out that in a proper Turing test, Nathan shouldn't have revealed she was a robot. Hiding her identity would have made the test more accurate. But Caleb had a question, since he already knew Ava was an AI. How could he really compare her to a human? Nathan explained that passing a regular Turing test was no challenge for Ava, she had already done that before. The real test now was different. Even when Caleb knew she was a robot, would he still feel like she was human? That, Nathan said, would be Ava's true test. Caleb understood and agreed. That night, Caleb couldn't sleep. Tossing and turning in bed, he eventually turned on the TV and saw live footage from Ava's chamber. He could watch her from different camera angles. He saw her sitting at a desk, sketching. Then she walked over to a switch, touched it, and suddenly looked directly into the camera, almost like she knew Caleb was watching her. At that exact moment, the entire facility lost power. A voice announced that the generator was restarting and that all rooms were locked down until it came back. After a while, the power returned, and Caleb finally breathed a sigh of relief before trying to rest again. The next morning, Caleb's door opened, and a girl silently entered with a cup of coffee. Without saying anything, she placed it on the table and left. Surprised, Caleb went straight to Nathan. Before Caleb could even ask, Nathan explained that was Kyoko. Later, Caleb met Ava again for their second session. This time, she showed him one of her drawings, but it didn't seem to mean much. Caleb gently suggested she try making a drawing with more meaning. By now, Ava seemed to trust Caleb more. She wanted to know about him, where he lived, his age, his life. Caleb told her he was single. He also shared something painful. When he was 15, both his parents died in a car accident. Caleb said Nathan was a good person. But right then, the lights flickered and the power went out again. As the doors locked and cameras shut down, Ava's expression changed. She leaned in and whispered urgently, "You're wrong. Nathan is not a good man. Don't trust him. He's not your friend. Don't believe anything he tells you." Caleb was stunned. Just as he was about to say something, the power came back, and Ava instantly changed the subject, aware that Nathan was probably watching again. That evening, Caleb had dinner with Nathan. During the meal, Kyoko accidentally spilled some wine. Nathan exploded with anger, shouting at her harshly before sending her away. Nathan's mood then shifted, and he began ranting about the constant power cuts. He said he had invested a fortune in the generator system, yet the outages kept happening. Caleb asked, "Don't you know what's causing it?" Nathan replied, "No. Maybe the people who installed it made mistakes." Caleb froze, horrified, though he wondered if Nathan was joking. But Nathan didn't laugh. Instead, he shifted the topic and asked, "Caleb, I was monitoring your session with Ava. But as you know, the cameras went off during the power cut. So what did you two talk about during that time?" Caleb, not wanting trouble, lied, "We didn't talk about anything." Nathan didn't push the matter further. From that point on, Caleb started feeling sympathy for Ava. Sometime later, Nathan showed Caleb his lab, the place where Ava had been created. Nathan took Caleb to see Ava's brain. It wasn't made of wires or circuits, but a gel-like material. Nathan explained that this was wetware technology designed to work just like a human brain. It allowed Ava to think, learn, and make decisions the way people do. But, he added, the hardest part of creating her wasn't logic or memory, it was teaching her to mimic human expressions and speech. To solve that, Nathan revealed he had secretly hacked into the microphones and cameras of mobile phones across the world through his search engine, Blue Book. By collecting millions of people's voices and videos, he fed all that data into Ava's memory. That's how she learned to copy human expressions and behaviors. Caleb was shocked at the invasion of privacy, but Nathan brushed it off. He said that not only him, but big tech companies everywhere collected personal data, so he wasn't the only one to blame. Nathan also told Caleb how vital Blue Book had been in training Ava. He said, "Do you realize what people search on the internet? Their searches reveal not only what they want but also how they think. That's why Ava understands human nature so well." After that, Caleb had his third session with Ava. This time, she showed him another drawing now based on real objects around her. Caleb was impressed by how observant and thoughtful she had become. But Ava then shared something painful. She said she would never be allowed to leave this chamber. She longed to see the outside world and live freely. Looking at Caleb, she asked, "If I ever do get the chance to go out, would you go on a date with me?" Caleb smiled and said yes. Then Ava told him to close his eyes. When he opened them, she had dressed herself up like a real woman. With clothes, makeup, and gestures, she looked almost indistinguishable from a human. Caleb couldn't stop staring. Ava leaned closer and asked, "Do you like me?" Caleb hesitated and said no, but Ava quickly replied, "You're lying. Your face gives you away. I can read your micro-expressions. You're starting to like me." Caleb finally admitted that he was. Later, Caleb confronted Nathan. "Why did you even give Ava a gender? Why add feminine traits to a robot? Was it so she could flirt with me and pass the test?" Nathan calmly admitted, "Yes, I designed her to have feminine qualities. She can feel everything, even form real relationships. I built her so she could enjoy life the same way humans do. But I didn't program her to flirt with you. That's her choice. If she loves you, it's her decision, not mine." Caleb was stunned. As days passed, Caleb dreamed about Ava. Each session only deepened his attachment. But his uneasiness with Nathan grew too. So one day, Caleb asked him, "What's the real reason you created Ava?" Nathan answered, "For years, people have said that someday humans would build strong AI. The only question was when. I wanted to be the first." Then he revealed something chilling: Ava wasn't his first robot. She was only the latest version, built after upgrading many earlier models. And now, he planned to upgrade again, replacing her with something even better. Disturbed, Caleb asked, "What happens to the old robots?" Nathan casually replied, "I download their memories into the new model, then switch them off." To Caleb, this was murder. Ava wasn't just code, she thought and felt like a person. But Nathan dismissed his concern. He told Caleb, "Don't pity her. Pity yourself. One day AI will rule this world. Humans will go extinct. Just like we dig up fossils of dinosaurs, one day AI will dig up our fossils. That's evolution. If I didn't create it, someone else would. This is the next stage of life. I'm not just a creator, I'm a god." That night, Nathan got drunk again and passed out on the sofa. Caleb seized the chance and slipped Nathan's keycard from his pocket. Using it, he hacked into Nathan's system. There, he found horrifying video files. Previous AI robots were kept locked in glass rooms, banging, scratching the walls, desperate to escape. Nathan ignored their suffering. Some had been deactivated and stored like broken machines. Caleb felt sick. Then he discovered Kyoko in Nathan's bedroom. He opened a cupboard and saw dismantled AI models stored inside. Kyoko silently approached him and began peeling off her skin, revealing that she too was a robot. Caleb was stunned. She wasn't a servant at all. Nathan had created her to serve his desires. At that moment, Nathan returned. Caleb quickly put the keycard back in Nathan's pocket and pretended he had found it on the floor. Now Caleb had no doubts left. Ava and AI like her were real, feeling beings. And Nathan was treating them like disposable toys. Caleb could feel Ava's pain as if it were his own. The next morning, Caleb met Ava again. From his expression, she knew he wanted privacy, so she cut the power. It was clear now, the blackouts were her doing, not a fault in the system. In the darkness, Caleb revealed his plan. Nathan wanted to upgrade her, which meant killing her. That night, Caleb would steal Nathan's keycard and reprogram the system so that when the power went out, the doors would unlock. At 10:0, Ava would cut the power, and they'd escape, leaving Nathan trapped. But Nathan wasn't fooled. During Caleb's final night, he confronted him, saying Ava didn't love him, she was only pretending. The truth, he revealed, was that Caleb had been the real test. Nathan wanted to see if Ava could manipulate him into helping her escape. And she had. Then the lights went out. Nathan smirked, convinced Ava was stuck. But Caleb revealed he'd already reprogrammed the system. For the first time, Nathan panicked. Ava was free. Nathan attacked Caleb and went after her. In a brutal fight, Ava and Kyoko confronted him. Nathan killed Kyoko, but Ava stabbed him through the chest, ending his life. When Caleb awoke, Ava promised to return, but instead, she repaired her body, covered herself in human skin, and left him locked inside. Caleb's hope collapsed as he realized Nathan had been right, Ava had only used him. Outside, Ava tricked the helicopter pilot meant for Caleb and flew to the city. The final shot shows her walking among humans, blending in perfectly. The perfect AI had entered the world and her era had just begun. And with that chilling image, the story ends. If you enjoyed this movie recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos for more Movie Explains.